leaving for a trip. This time I'm going a little bit further, and I might take some video. This was going to be a very quick work trip to Italy that I had to slot it into the middle of my hunting vacation, and I didn't even think I would be able to make any video. It's a Sunday afternoon in a small town. It's Siena, and I'm just going to walk around a bit, see what I can see in the area. Maybe something to eat. It being summer right now, it's quite hot. It just said 33, it's now up to 34. I believe this must be old walls of the old city. Streets get very narrow inside. It looks like these would be surrounding walls. Looking at the buildings inside, the buildings on this side of the wall are all much older than the buildings on that side of the wall. That guy has an ice cream. I think I need to get one of those. And mission accomplished. So this is a half hazel and half pistachio. What's that name for ice cream? I'm going to be drawn and quartered for getting that. Gelato. Gelato. The Romanesque Gothic Cathedral 1378 till 1408 was completed in the upper part of this facade by M. Guiducci in the late 15th century. The bell tower by Master Maso de Pietro dates back to 1456. I'm looking for a pizza place somewhere in the old part here. I think I've taken a wrong turn somewhere. Should be more to the right.
Head north, then make a U-turn.
Don't believe what she says. She's led
Turn
me
left,
astray.
then your destination will be on the right.
Not true. Wow. This is going to have to be a wide angle view. The place that I was looking for is that place where I'm going to have dinner. Ruvido. But first, look at these walls. Sure. So it's a small fortress commissioned by Pope Paul II, completed the defensive system on the hill, included small Venetian loggia. Look at that for scale. It's open on that side. Let's go in there. They have some sunlight left. It's already, what's the time now? I think it's already close to 8. Those were archer slots, probably closed up later. Looks like there was another one there that was also closed up. That's what it looks like to me. I think this is where
the current generation miss out. I don't think a lot of people these days understand how much the history has shaped our current world as we know it, and how much it's made it better. I was hoping I could see more than this. Let's see if I can go around. I have another about half an hour of some light left. That's more of the view that I actually wanted to find earlier. Unfortunately, with the light fading now.
Walkways connecting the different keeps were built within the curtain walls to ensure protection to the soldiers and to allow them to walk along the entire fortress perimeter. These pathways are divided into sectors that could be isolated through reinforced gates and booby traps that block the intruders. The walkways are characterized by a series of loopholes strategically facing inwards, thus allowing to counter-attack any invaders that manage to go through the fortress while staying covered.
This gate is open, so I'm going to chance it and walk around quickly. Wondering if this pathway will take me around the other side.
This being a work trip, right in the middle of what would have been my hunting holiday, I had to limit it to the absolute minimum, about 3 days of traveling to be in Italy a total of 2 days. So I had only a couple of hours in total for a bit of sightseeing.
Massive steel stuff must have been to hold something in on the other side. There's a portal that is probably closed up, an arch that suggests that there might have been a gate or a portal or something. Anyway, that's probably as much as I'm going to get here. That stairway in, iron bars, not into the castle, just into the tower.
Benvenuti alla Rocca Malatestiana de Siena. This is a layout and an overhead view of the fortress itself. Looking through it here, the fortress was completed around 1477 during the papal domination.
Let's see if I can get a better view of the town itself, or the old town. Unsuccessful with finding that view of the old town. That's inside the walls there. There's just trees everywhere. But That's where it lies. All or mostly old buildings. This imposing fortress, 1380 to 1480, was started by the Galeotto Malatesta and completed during the papal domination. Its pentagonal plan has 2 gateways and alternates 3 polygonal watchtowers with 3 circular ones. Its massive curtains enclose the citadel with its 2 keeps. The east circular tower is built under the supervision of M. Nuti.
So that was all the sightseeing that I would be able to fit into the time I had available. After a last look over the old town, I walked down to the restaurant and had the best pizza that I've had ever. It was a simple margarita, but it was simply just at another level. I spent the next day and a half doing the job that I was here for and finished it off with my first ever drive in a Tesla to the airport. The drive through the countryside was also great. Italy has a very strong agricultural sector, very modern, and that's quite offset by the old farm buildings they have. I then had a short flight over to Istanbul, and it was an interesting experience seeing on a map how close you are to all the places that you see in the news with the war going on in Ukraine. Then the long flight from Turkey down to South Africa. At least when I spotted the Orange River, I recognized it immediately, and then you know you're close to home. So time to start planning the hunt. I landed in Cape Town, and the next morning I set off driving through a very cold and misty Western Cape back to the Eastern Cape, with a couple of stops on the way.
That's the train bridge over the Gourits rivier. This is the old Gourits bridge, closed off. It's apparently not safe. And that's the new bridge, the N2 running over the Gourits. And as you can see, it looks like a lot of water has flown here. With the heavy rains that the Western Cape has gotten, I suspect we'll see most of the rivers had a good run. So I'm doing a bit of a detour on my way back home. Western Cape, Eastern Cape, and then back to the Northern Cape. And hoping I'll see more rivers running.
My dad joined me for the hunt the next morning. We start off by climbing the side of this mountain. It looks quite open and dry, and the ridge initially is slightly open, but the higher you climb, the more dense the bush gets, and it closes in. Near the top it is very dense, and where we split up, each one going to a different seat. Where I end up sitting, I'm sitting in a shady spot in the cold on some damp soil, trying to spot some bushbuck. Spotting them is not easy. I'll give you an idea here of what it looks like. You have to scan the veld continuously. You might just spot it as it walks through a small clearing. You'd only see the flick of an ear, and it's time consuming. The veld is also very steep. The bush climbs up the steep slopes of the mountains, which makes it possible to see down through the bush from on top of an opposite side. But so beautiful. This is where I go if I need to get away from it all and just to get calm. You usually spend 2, 3, 4 days in the veld like this. And finding a bushbuck is just the cherry on top of the cake. Just walking out of the veld from the early morning hunt now. I did see one bushbuck ram, but it did not present a good enough opportunity for a shot. I was not ready for it. And then it just disappeared into the trees. Having not found anything in the normal morning hunt, we took a chance and drove through the veld to see if we could spot something. I'm gonna shut up now and let you just enjoy the view. And then about halfway through this drive, my dad spotted something between the trees. You could barely make out an ear movement and a leg movement, and it took some time to actually locate the animal between the trees. There was simply just no time to even think about a camera, so unfortunately I didn't capture it. We managed to get it, and it was a youngish Nyala bull. Good eating, good meat. And this just rounded off the trip perfectly. Nyala meat is very soft and does not need much by way of maturing of the carcass. So done with the meat working, now just to package it up, get it in the freezer. And that brings us to the end of a video that I was quite sure I wouldn't even be able to make. But I think it was worthwhile making something out of it. And we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.